from the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons, and is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Episode 142, Masonic Light Podcast, and I am back from the dead.
Wow. Great to have you back, Pete.
So I get sick. I get a job, I get sick. These guys produce unfunny shows. Our listenership goes down.
We like to take a summer vacation.
For God's sake. So
The force is out of balance. Everybody's like, when are you doing another show?
So I'm back to take names and try and get this this train wreck back on the rails.
Good luck.
Well, we really took some time off to recuperate from having a really great year.
Yeah, we really did.
And taking the time off, we got sicker and had more damn problems in a little bit, which apparently we shouldn't have taken it off.
Yeah. So all of our updates are going to be about health issues. So we'll start on our left here. Jack is absent tonight. He is up on his way home from New Hampshire.
Vermont. Larry was in New Hampshire.
I was in New Hampshire.
Is there a difference?
They're next to each other.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're like...
One's the Green Mountain Boys and one's Live Free or Die.
Yeah, one votes for Bernie Sanders and one doesn't.
Right.
I know the biggest city in Vermont is like smaller than my little city in Lancaster.
Right.
Yes, it is.
It's like 60,000 people in Vermont. It's like, oh, okay. Maybe I could be senator. Like Dr. Oz. I could go there for one day and just register.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Josh, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
I mean, okay, nothing Masonic. Have you done anything else?
Nope, not really. Just worked.
Really? Since we were together? Really? Cool.
No, have not done a thing.
Your hair's grown.
Your hair's
has grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a boss now, just so you know.
Oh,
yeah.
A boss
that's right.
of what?
He got a promotion.
Yes, he got a promotion.
So you have to come out of your office and take off your headphones now?
Yeah, pretty much. I did actually used to wear headphones all day long and keep my light off.
Wow.
But now I don't.
Timmy, you've actually been doing stuff. I know you were at deliberation.
There's
you
all
just tell
kinds.
us. What have you been up to?
We've not done a show now since the second week in June, so it's been a busy summer actually for Freemasonry. Most lodges in Pennsylvania call off from labor for June, for July and August. But right after we recorded the last episode, the Grand Lodge quarterly communication was held out in Johnstown, and it was another super spreader event.
Well, that's the biggest thing there since the flood.
You're right, exactly.
Speaking of floods.
So, actually, I did not attend in person. I attended virtually, and so needless to say, there were some.
So
issues.
you didn't get to see the Charlestown Chiefs arena?
No.
And you didn't get to see the statue of the flood dog?
No.
Do you know the story of the flood dog?
I do not.
Apparently, this dog tried to alert people to the flood to save their lives, and they threw a rock at it, and they all died.
Said, "Shut up! Quit barking!" But the week after it's funny thing about the Grand Lodge communication is literally right after the Grand Master called them to order, they lost all power in the building. So they were in darkness for a bit.
That's a bad omen.
Yeah. So, and then the next week, like 15 people that I know that were there got COVID. So
we're off to a great start.
We're off to a great start. Anyway, so the week after that, I did a presentation on our podcast at Robert Burns Lodge in Harrisburg.
How many people heard of podcasts before?
So about half the people in the audience knew about podcasts and knew about us. The other ones had no idea what I was talking about.
It was like telling them how to split the atom.
But no. Here's the example, and I gave this when I did the presentation at Millersville Lodge. I said, how many of you all remember back in the old days what happened at 12 o'clock noon on the radio? Well, Paul Harvey was on. Yeah. Well, we're kind of like the Paul Harvey of today, except we're not on at noon. We're on whenever you want us to be on. Oh, okay. So it's like a radio show. Yeah, it's like a radio show. So anyway, got 4 or 5 guys afterwards came up and said, show me how to listen to your podcast. So I'm sitting there giving tech advice. But it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see, what else has been going on? We had council deliberation, which is a Scottish Rite event for all officers in the Scottish Rite lines across Pennsylvania. They met in Harrisburg right after the 4th of July week.
I heard it was actually a decent meal.
It was.
I've heard rumors that meals are usually terrible.
Yep.
But I heard it was a good meal.
The meals were good. The meal was good. The meeting was good. The meeting wasn't painful. Usually you go there and you're like, when is this going to end? But they did what they needed to do, and they got out, and there was a lot of fellowship, both before, during, and after. And I think a good time was had by all. And then last week, I attended the annual golf scramble with the Valley of Harrisburg up at Rich Valley in Mechanicsburg. Jack led a team from the podcast. They finished.
That's it?
They finished.
That's because I wasn't there.
That's right, because Josh abandoned them this year. But no, I think everybody had a great time. In spite of the fact that it was 95 degrees out, there was a warm wind blowing the stars around. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It wasn't as hot as it was last year.
No EMS calls?
No EMS calls, which was amazing because it was hot. But, we did a couple of live feeds again, and I never cease to be amazed at how many people during the day will see us live and tune in to watch the silliness that we do. So, anyway, last year we had, over 100 at 8:30 in the morning, and I think we were pretty close to that this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, I guess that's about it.
Larry, I know the wife's been in France. What have you been up to?
Well, Masonically, Goose and Gridiron every Thursday. It's been fun. It's a small group, and I like it that way. Was in New Hampshire visiting my daughter. Went up with my grandchildren, my youngest daughter. New Hampshire, Vermont, Lake Winnipesaukee. It was great vacation, great time. Not a whole heck of a lot Masonically. But I want to talk about the flood. You're talking about the Johnstown flood. Uh-huh. We came into the studio tonight. We opened the door up, and there's kind of a musky, damp odor.
And we thought it was, normally we think it's just Josh. But,
yeah, but anyway, they had buckets out there with mops, and the floor looked clean, and things were moved around. We opened the studio door up, and our carpets rolled up. And there's pots on the floor absorbing.
But we've been evicted.
Oh, man. So we're working tonight probably with black mold in the air. So we have to go to Human Resources.
The Stachybotrys is really causing me some serious implications.
I did forget 2 things of note. I literally just earlier today got back from a trip to visit my mom down in North Carolina, but while I was there, I actually met people at 2 different lodges down there, Pleasant Hill Lodge number 304, and one of those guys actually said he listened to the podcast, which I thought was amazing.
They have the internet down there now.
They do have internet there now. It's not real good. It's dial-up, but the other one was from Beulaville Masonic Lodge number 658. And so thanks to those. Salute for those brethren.
Awesome. Pete here. I haven't had much going on because I was supposed to be at council deliberation. And then one of my other volunteer activities, is, as you know, is with Dobermans. Our president of the organization, her husband had died. So I had to somehow go to York, Pennsylvania, pick up a dog that's been in our custody for 8 months. That was a dog from a huge outdoor where a couple hundred dogs were seized in Louisiana. So, and I had to take this dog to New Jersey. And then on the way back, I had to stop in Valley Forge at the vet that my vet uses and pick up my foster dog who is getting her second and final heartworm treatment. So that was a lot of work. So I missed that. The golf tournament, I wasn't feeling very well, but I didn't really know why. Normally, my resting heart rate is around 60, and every day it started climbing until... let's back up even further. My dumbass decided to unretire and go back to 911. My first day of class learning how to recertify to be a dispatcher was also my first day of radiation treatment. So I'm just, killing myself doing... I should just be on the sofa. Right. But I like to have pocket money, so I want to work. Anyway, we'll fast forward. I got a nice little hospital stay because of something called radiation pneumonitis.
I understand you now know the fast pass to clear the ER.
So I walk into the ER. I'm short of breath, but I have a high heart rate, but I see 50 people waiting in all stages of disrepair. And I'm like, okay, but I'm fine when I'm sitting. So I give my information to the person at the reception desk. They give me a coaster like I'm in a restaurant. I start to sit down, and before my butt even hits the chair, it starts going off. I'm like, oh, I guess I must be a VIP. And I just walked past 50 people. So it turns out it wasn't as serious as I had thought. So I'm on prednisone. I don't sleep. I eat a lot. I'm running around like I'm on cocaine from the prednisone. So, and somewhere in the mix of that, our brand new operatives got constituted. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't able to attend the actual ceremony because I was working, but I made it to the dinner. So I'm
sworn in or obligated or whatever it is you need.
Yeah, even though I spent all the money to be a founder, I think because I wasn't there, I'm not. But that's the rules.
You can be in with me because I'm going in the next group. So.
Okay. So, but the 3 grandmasters from, I guess around the world, because one of them was from Texas, 2 of them for the UK, were there, and it was just a pretty impressive evening, and it was pretty cool.
Neat.
All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we are going to recap everything Freemasonry.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. For planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
And welcome back, everybody. So we've just been rambling because we haven't actually gotten together in person. I mean, I've seen Jack outside of the group, but in so long that we've just catching up. And prior to this, we stopped for dinner at an Italian restaurant and ate so many carbs that we're all in need of an insulin shot right now.
Larry's already fallen asleep twice.
Oh, I'm in agony.
So we just realized that even though after we had almost over a month, we didn't plan anything. So, but that's not going to stop us.
Right.
Never did.
Never has before.
So we are going to just do a quick search of the internet, and Timmy found an article from someone.
Well, it's, people post these things on their Facebook pages. And I apologize if this came from your lodge or if you posted it. If you did, let us know.
Yeah, if you're the original poster, let us know. We'll give you some credit. It's definitely not our content.
It's not our content, but we thought it was a good list because everybody is talking about how to grow and strengthen your lodge. And that's what this one is. And so there's a bunch of bullet points. We won't talk about all of them. But there's some good points.
We will say yay or mock it.
Yeah, we'll do thumbs up, thumb down, or mock it. All right. So Bullet number 1, attend as many meetings and functions as possible.
No shit.
Captain Obvious, right?
Yeah, let me earn the not safe for work rating we have on every episode, even though we don't curse.
Right.
But like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Okay.
Next point.
Show up early, stay late.
Oh my God. Who
wrote this?
Okay, we're not going to. You probably don't want us to give you credit.
Right. Okay. This one is actually good. Read, study, learn, drill, discuss, teach, grow, and improve.
I can go for that.
That's better.
Yeah, that's much better.
Is this like a list from the 30s? Or?
I don't know.
Is it the use of the word drill?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Again, I don't know who to attribute this to, but know the ritual and duties of the 3 chairs. Learn the one above you, know the one you occupy, and the chair subordinate to you. Teach this same to all officers.
And this is supposed to encourage people to come to the lodge?
Strengthen and improve your lodge.
Oh, okay.
Grow and strengthen your lodge.
I don't know about grow, but it's got to get you better on all your ritual.
Right. Strengthen the chain. Commit to improving the lives of every officer and brother you meet. That's pretty good.
Philosophically, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be not just the guys you do ritual with, but they should be your brothers and your friends.
Right. I actually really like this next one. Live Freemasonry outside and inside the lodge 24/7, 365.
Even on Facebook if the person's a different political party?
Even on Facebook if the person's a different political party.
I can't abide by that part.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, we should strive for that. We should strive to live Masonry inside and outside of the lodge. Our charges compel us to.
I mean, I think I do, or at least I make an effort.
Mm-hmm. This next one's abandon all ego and foolish pride.
Cricket.
Josh, you got a
it's a work in progress.
Or a work in progress. Okay. Invite and involve candidates, brethren alike. Encourage them to take ownership of the lodge and their journey.
I would remark that however, not just that. Like, make an effort to not just get these guys involved in the lodge, but like not be so cliquish after lodge and sit and talk to your friends. Just go, or like what we've been trying to do at Lambertville, Millerton Lodge, is we've been trying. There's a nice little bar across the street. So like after our meetings, a handful of us go over to the bar every night and just have discussions. And really, it's not a lot of bitching about Freemasonry. It's just guys hanging out talking. And I don't know. I think it does make a difference because these guys, my wife doesn't care where I go, what I do. But there's a lot of guys that might only be able to get out of the house to go to things like lodge. Mm-hmm. This might be their only chance in the whole month to go have a beer with some guys. Mm-hmm. So, just remember, if you have a long leash, remember, there's a lot of guys out there that are henpecked and do not have a leash, or they're just like on electric dog collar. So maybe like you're hanging out with you for 1 or 2 beers after a lodge meeting might be one of the better nights of their month. Good so point. Just, help them out.
I'm going to skip a couple of these just because some of them are redundant. But build on the strengths of others and encourage passion and new ideas. That would be good if it were to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like it's general society. Like, nobody really knows most people think they're terrible at everything. But, like, you really should build people up.
Right.
Because they really might be good at one thing and terrible at everything else.
Well, and everybody has a strength. And finding that strength is obviously a challenge.
Mine's parallel parking. It's not really useful.
You could be a steward and help some of our older gentlemen find a place to park.
Okay.
All right. Build up the officers and committee members to the brethren.
Oh, that's
like
tough.
talk them up. What does it mean? Not,
I think it could be.
Build me up, Buttercup.
yeah.
So far, this is like trying to build the officers up within the. Come on, this is sort of a one-way street. There's two ways this works, and we're not hitting the upward movement.
Okay, well, when we finish,
This
maybe
is the
we'll hit
downward.
Well, what was the Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy or
Yeah.
Stuart Smalley?
Yeah.
Like, what do we got going on now?
Yeah, exactly. This next one as a secretary I like a lot. Pay your dues in advance and then donate often. So
Oh, my God.
I do think that sometimes we forget that dues in Pennsylvania are due December of each year for the preceding year. And so many of our guys think they're not due until
For the
April.
following year.
That's it, for the following year. Did I say preceding year?
You did, but
I'm sorry.
you've been on the road all day.
That's right. I'm tired.
Yeah.
For the following year. For the ensuing Masonic year, yes. And I really hate having to chase guys down for dues. It's like you want to be a member of the organization, pay your dues. For the VFW, your key just doesn't work anymore. You can't get in. But
Are we working closer to an automatic debit?
I don't know that we'll ever get to the automatic. But I believe the system we have now will.
Because GoDaddy's got this figured out. They send me an email. They say, in 4 days, your card's going to be charged $86 for this account.
Yep, same
Yeah.
here.
Well, I think part of the problem is that our dues change from time to time. Although, breaking news, dues are not increasing from the Grand Lodge this year. So since they went up last year, unless your local dues are going up, then your dues will be the same for 2023. Let's see. What's next here? Honor the past, preserve the traditions and culture of the lodge. Boy, I just have sucked the wind out of all of you tonight.
This is dry. This is pretty dry.
I think it's good to remember things.
Yeah.
And celebrate the different stages of the lodge, but I don't think that you should allow that to dictate what you're necessarily doing presently.
Right. Well, the next one I call the John F. Kennedy bullet. Ask not what Freemasonry can do for you. Rather ask what you can do for Freemasonry.
Well, he was on back pills and a lot of alcohol.
That's true.
And Marilyn Monroe.
He was on her, too, yeah.
All right, just keep it in balance. But he had a nice tan.
Okay. Follow this, and I'm not quite sure I understand all of this, but it says follow the code. The great lights, the obligations, charges, old charges, ceremonies, lectures, several rituals of Freemasonry should be your constant guide, your modus operandi, your standards of operating procedures. If you disagree, study the code and take the proper steps within the proper venue to change them.
This guy sounds like he was quite a ladies' man.
Yeah, really. Be positive, see the situation, never see a situation as impossible, accept the challenge, overcome every obstacle, produce positive results that benefit everyone. Hey, remember, you asked me to read these.
It's all good on paper, and it makes sense. I just find that, I hate to say my generation because I'm 53, like it doesn't touch my, and anybody after me, I know it's not reaching.
Right.
Thank you, because I'm sitting here as an old dude. I'm thinking, this is so trite, so overly done, and for 200 years we've heard this same stuff. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't think it does anything. You're right. For your age group, my age group, it's not the thing that works. What really works is going to a meeting and seeing your old brothers, your old friends. What really works is social. What really works is going out for a drink after a meeting. What really works is caring for each other when you're not in the lodge. That's what the hell this is all about, not that stuff.
Welcome back, Larry.
And I did this even I spent most of my career in sales, and I watched all these people that read all these books and went to all these speakers about sales techniques, and they all just, every one of those sales books, from like Zig Ziglar to everybody else, it's basically the same book, just worded differently. Mm-hmm. And what I found is, at the end of the day, people buy from people they like, and people buy from people that they trust. And if you can make friends with people, people want to come to Lodge to see your friends. And if you can all become a group of friends, people will be concerned about the welfare of the whole Lodge. Mm-hmm. If the Lodge is doing everything amazing Masonically, but you're like, oh, I got to go hang out with this bag of dicks tonight. like, a bunch of these guys that I don't really enjoy their company personally. Mm-hmm. And something else comes up tonight, you're not going to want to go to Lodge.
Right.
And if you're an officer, you're still going to go, but you might put a little less effort into it. But if you're just a member and you got a conflict, well, I don't need to go. But when you know you're going to see my 5 buddies and we're going to hang out and catch up, I mean, it's not as critical as it was before internet and before Facebook, because now I know what all you guys are doing. But before Facebook, this is when I'm twisting a wire, Larry. I don't know what you're staring at me for, like I'm got 3 heads.
Black stuff on that damn wall.
Larry's all ADD. He's seeing mold on the wall, and he's like concerned for our health.
There's black shit on that wall over there.
Larry, it's called mold.
It's all right.
Black mold. Okay.
It's all right.
So yeah, but still,
cancer causing.
You want to see your buddies.
You do.
So and that's the main thing. Make friends, and if you don't have friends at Lodge, get your damn friends, join the Lodge, and then you have friends at Lodge.
Exactly. Well, and I think I'm reminded of an episode, probably 100 ago, where we talked about the 5 aspects, and within those, you find people that want education, they want deeper thought, they want knowledge. Some want the social aspects, some want the esoteric stuff. And the trick is finding groups of people that want kind of the same thing, or that have strengths in those same things. And then it becomes your buddies that you have this thing in common with.
Yeah, and I think that's the answer.
It is.
There are various little groups within it that mold it and become one big group. Yeah, there's different interests. You're right.
Absolutely.
That's what makes a great lodge.
And occasionally, with good events, you will come together over the course of the year, and everybody doing their own thing.
Yep.
And that's kind of one of the things I see at Scottish Rite.
Right.
There's, the guys that are on stage crew, they have a lot of fun, and they enjoy doing what they do. But like at the reunion, they do their thing. The Rose Croy line does their thing. The Prince's line does thing. The Perfection line, consistory. But when it's all done, then we all celebrate the job well done
by
all of us.
Right.
And that's what makes it such a great event and a great body.
Very well said. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramandSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
And we're back once again. This is old-fashioned. It sounds like, there's only 2 of us talking. Well, Larry's here, but he doesn't talk. So
Larry's in pain tonight.
And I am, I'm sorry, I am in pain tonight. And thanks to the Advil, because it is helping. But between the Advil and the antibiotics and all the other stuff going on, I'm a little bit out of it. Well, see, now it just hurt because the damn partial slipped and it hurt.
So Josh just pointed out, because we were just talking about what we're going to cover for the last, like, say, 10 minutes of the show. And he goes, so you guys are like, I said my idea. And he goes, so you guys just got done crapping all over somebody else's list. And now you're going to come up with a new list. So this is your opportunity as listeners to crap all over us for our stupid thing we're going to bring up.
Yeah.
So what we were saying is, COVID affected everybody's lodge. Attendance is down. And then we also just had a little conversation on break about how much we're enjoying here in Pennsylvania having July and August called off from labor. Not dark, called off from labor.
Right.
And, hey, I took 8 weeks to get recertified in a new job working, I could never do that during Mason season. And so, once you start getting in the habit of staying home and not going places, it's hard to break it. So, Tim, give those numbers you had from your lodge.
So, before COVID, granted, Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 is one of the larger lodges around, but before COVID, we averaged, I would say, 80 or 90 people at a stated meeting, depending on the program, depending on the month, and depending on the weather, obviously. Obviously, during COVID, we were limited by regulations and so on. But since then, our numbers have come back. We're back up to about 50 or 60, but only about 40 of them are members. Now, it's good news, bad news. We've got 40 of our members, but we're also getting 20 guests. We're getting a bunch of guests each month, which is good, which means people.
So is that due to good programs this year?
I think it's a combination of stuff where obviously, when the district deputy comes, everybody's there, and then it's other programs. And then, frankly, we've got a lot of folks that have taken notice of the lodge. We've got a couple of worshipful masters of other lodges that live close by, and they've started to come to our meetings occasionally. Brother Tommy Long, that we had as a guest a couple months ago from Prince Hall, he's come a couple times. And I think a lot of it is just the variety of programs that we do, some of the meals that we've done, some of the outdoor activities, and so on. But the bottom line is our members have only come back in smaller numbers than what they had before. And I think that's attributable to a bunch of things.
So what we're trying to do now is trying to figure out a way to encourage our listeners to try and encourage people to come out to their September meetings, because we've gotten in the habit of not going to lodge because it's the summer. And then for some people, they were still kind of hibernating from COVID.
Right.
And understandable. So, but I guess kind of our challenges for all of our listeners is get a swim buddy. Try and just find one of your buddies that hasn't been to lodge and just try to bring them to the September meeting. Not because there's anything special going on, but in order to, you have to do things to have a habit, to keep that habit going. And if you can drag that buddy out maybe 2 months in a row, there's a chance that possibly November they might actually show up on their own, or they might text you and say, hey, you're still going to lodge, right? So do you have anything else, Tim, that you think you might be able to get people to?
No, I think that's important, is the personal reach. And in Pennsylvania, we all have access to contact information from everybody in our lodge if you create a login on Grandview. So there's my little promotion for Grandview. You can actually see the contact information for everyone in your lodge. And don't wait for the notice to come out. Don't wait for the call-em-all from the master. Make it
I know for me,
individual.
it's going to be the first Tuesday of the month.
Right. So whatever day it is,
Salute.
by the time this comes out, start thinking about who you would reach out to and say, I haven't seen such and such in a while. Maybe I'll give them a call and see if they'll come to lodge in September.
Hey, Josh, will you come to the lodge in September with me?
And that doesn't count because you guys see each other all the time.
It does, because I contact him before every meeting. Are you coming to lodge?
And he's about 50-50.
Yeah.
I just took the first few months off.
Well, I mean, you were sitting in the East for what?
3 years.
3 calendar years.
3 calendar years. Yeah. But that actually, we asked for critique on this. If you have good ideas about maybe something your lodge is doing to attract people to come, let us know. Put it in the comment section on our post and let us know.
Sounds good. And also, here's another request. I made a little post on Facebook the other day, but if you think you'd be a good guest for our show, rate us on Facebook or drop us a light at masoniclight@gmail.com or masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com. And we might get back to you. No, usually what happens is you send your information in, then we have a discussion, and then we agree that you'd be a good guest, and then just nobody follows through.
I tell people all the time, we're really looking for Masons that have interesting lives, interesting jobs, that do things in the lodge and out of the lodge. I mean, you don't have to be a presiding officer to come on this show. Just if you've got a cool job, let us know.
I know a brother that has been married and divorced 7 times. He'd be interesting to have on the show.
Well,
and we could probably get a mental health counselor here for them.
Yeah. Teach them to say no.
So, William, Schuylkill County, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, seriously. When we started the show, it was like, okay, we need to get a Grand Master. We need to get this and that. And it's great. I would love to get, the Imperial Potentate and all these other people to talk about their years. But you can only list so many resumes that all have the same exact things on them.
Right.
And I'd be more impressed with, maybe the guy that's just a Master Mason, makes it to 1 or 2 meetings a year, that, I don't know, is a retired military pilot that has seen and done some cool stuff that I never have.
Mm-hmm. Some of the best guests that we have had on the show were The Undertaker.
Yep.
We're talking about Reppert. We've had some really good guests
Absolutely.
on that may have a Masonic resume, but their personal lives and what they do has been nothing short of fantastic.
And we've had cops, firefighters, EMTs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Somewhere there's got to be. I want to know a guy. Does anybody own a Blockbuster?
Do they still exist?
No, the last one closed.
I saw where there was one left in Portland, Oregon or somewhere.
Alrighty, so let's go around the room. What do you guys got coming up? Larry, what do you have coming up next?
Ghost and Gridiron next this coming Thursday and the following Thursday. Nothing else. Oh, we have some stuff that we're doing.
I'll talk about it.
Okay, you'll talk about it. Thank you.
So for Larry, I think, is it in 3 months for Tall Cedars?
Yes.
We have, we had a date just like for a regular dinner. And this is a challenge I'm going to throw out for anybody in the First Masonic District that's listening. We want to try something this year, and it's not going to be a huge success year one. We know that. But every lodge in our district and every other appendant body tries to put on a banquet. And they're okay. And they're all attended by 30, 40 people. And you get some rubber chicken. Everybody pats each other on the back, and you maybe have a program or a little entertainment, and you go home. My thinking in 2022 plus, Tall Cedars that we're in is one of the only bodies that allows wives to and families to come to any meeting. And we want to try and do something where we have like an all-Masonic banquet, where any Master Mason in the First Masonic District is welcome to come with their spouse. We're going to have entertainment this year. We're going to have a women's ensemble that my wife happens to be the director of.
Yeah.
And, it might just be, it's going to be kind of a tame first one. But my thinking is if we could grow this into like a couple years, where we could have a black tie event with really good entertainment, like something that we actually pay like maybe $1,000 plus for.
Whoa. La La Luna is a class act. They are as good as the Yale Whiffenfuss Let me tell you, they really are. They're so good.
Are they big band?
No, they're a cappella lady singers.
They are phenomenal. They are. I think there's 7 or 8 of them now, and they're great. They're really great.
They're great, but I mean, I'd rather have a Pink Floyd cover band.
Yeah.
But our tribute band.
Yeah.
Steph, I will send you this episode so you can listen to this.
All right, and then I think at some point in October, I think we got the Feast of Tishri coming up at the Valley Reading.
Yeah.
And then just all the regular meetings just start in
That's
September.
The Tishri, that's a biggie.
A rotisserie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boston Market, Larry.
The
Yeah.
chicken on it?
No, I've been the one right before COVID, and that was...
Josh, I think I know your answer, but what do you have coming up?
Well, I'm going to be mixing an episode of this podcast.
Which is an important Masonic
It's an
function.
important Masonic.
I hope you can insert some energy and
Yes.
enthusiasm. Cut out some of the dead air. Maybe play some sound effects when
Maybe
it's
just
really sad.
play your favorite album in lieu of what we've talked about. I don't know.
And Tim actually has his Palm Pilot out.
Yeah, my Palm Pilot, my BlackBerry. Actually, the month of August is chock full of stuff. On the 4th of August, Larry and I, of all people, Pete may join us, are going to be at the Keyman Conference over in E-Town. And
I have to check my hemoglobin, but I mean, look.
we're going to be corrupting the youth into the ways of the Masonic Light podcast. Seriously, we're actually hoping to maybe get an
What's the
episode
date again?
of the 4th.
Of August?
Yes.
That's a Thursday.
Yes.
I'll look into it, but I think I'm available.
Okay, good. So we're actually hoping to get a good number of interviews out of that it might make a good episode coming up about D. Malay. And so...
Rejoining the emergency services, my clearances are fine, so I'm allowed to be at an event with children.
Can you be with children again?
I can.
Okay, good. The next day, I am actually escorting the Grand Smoke, Ed Stum, to the Pittsburgh Cigar Lodge out in Pittsburgh, which we've actually gone the last couple of years and had a great time. They have a great event out there. So for those of you in the greater Pittsburgh area on August 5th, the Grand Smoke and his aide will be in your presence. So we're looking forward to that.
See, that's kind of like driving to Pittsburgh to see a Steelers game to me.
All right, be careful. We got a lot of Steelers fans on this podcast. So the big event coming up is on the 20th of August, and I believe the podcast will actually be at this event and, again, making some recordings and stuff. The Valley of Harrisburg is sponsoring a chicken barbecue, cornhole tournament, and cigar event. I think they're going to have a band playing as well, kind of like they did last year, but it'll be a lot of fun there on the lawn at the Valley of Harrisburg, Saturday, August the 20th. Be there, be square. And then, obviously, getting ready for all of our September meetings that we're going to have great attendance at. So I think that's about it. I did forget 2 events that happened before this on the front end of the episode. The Cigar Lodge event where they had Wagyu steaks up in Drums, Pennsylvania. That was a lot of fun. And then the Valley of Allentown held a steak and cigar event and really enjoyed those brethren. Lots of podcast listeners up there. A lot of folks come up and wanted to know if others were coming that day, wanted to know where we'd been all summer, why we hadn't been. I told them, I said, we just...
One thing, we need to collect information from around the country, around the world, because I've noticed, like when I go to a Masonic event in Harrisburg, there's always certain finger foods that are sitting out. And then I just went to one at the picnic at the Valley of Reading, and there was red beet eggs, and there was not kielbasa, it was a Lebanon bologna and Swiss cheese. And I'm trying to explain, I'm like, this is I guess what would you have if you had Genoa salami and provolone without flavor. And then when Larry and I were up in Pottsville for a Tall Cedars event, they had Limburger cheese, and what else did they have? I mean, and onions. So, like, even within Pennsylvania, if you go 20, 30 miles, the regional
Differences.
snack choices based on the indigenous peoples.
Yeah, well, they had pierogies, kielbasa. They had all that good stuff.
In Harrisburg, we prefer bacon wrapped scallops, but
Well, that's more, I don't know, normal. But yeah, like, I would love to learn some of the regional delicacies
There you
of
go.
Masonic lodges.
Remember, though, the scallops are from the Susquehanna River.
Larry, take us out of here. What do you have going on?
cue the chickens.
Get the chickens.
There they are.
Hey, here we go. Holy cow. It's been a while. I think I can try to remember this. Special thanks to After the Lodge 665 for making this damp, dark, dusky, moldy studio available. After we do love you. Special thanks to Josh Lamberton, our producer director, who always does a good job and who traversed through lots of traffic tonight to get here. Also, thanks to Tim Dedman, our marketing director, and Jack Harley, our news director. Noticeably absent somewhere. God, I don't know where he is.
He's somewhere on I-95.
Yeah.
We're on I-95.
And to our Masonic Light contributors, Michelle Snyder and Doug Maddenford, Dutchy Doug. And I just have one short anecdote to end the show on. This is about a 10-year-old little girl. She asked her mom how she was born. How was I born? So the mother smiled and replied, once upon a time, me and your daddy decided to plant a wonderful little seed. Daddy put it in the earth and I took care of it every single day. After a while, the seed started to grow more and more leaves, and in a few months it turned into a beautiful, healthy plant. So we took the plant, dried it, smoked it, and got so high that we forgot to wear a condom. I hope this makes
I'm not understanding the Masonic reference on this, but it's funny.
Hey, this is Larry Merris. Thanks for listening wherever you are in the world. And also to our listeners in the universe. We don't give you a lot of credit, but we do thank you for listening, sending those radio waves that SETI is trying to interpret. They don't know the Masonic code. We do, and we're glad you're listening. Keep those cards and letters flowing.
I think they are responding back because we have a regular caller at 911 that complains about the radio waves that keep coming into their house.
Yep.
And they call like daily.
Yep.
So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you all for listening.
Yes.
All right, this is Tim. Bye, everybody.